Hi, I'm Leslie Meredith from Breakbulk Events and Media, and I'm here at Breakbulk Middle East in Abu Dhabi, and I'm joined by Shankar Chatterjee, who just finished our first micro seminar for this conference. Tell us about that.
Honestly, it was a very, very interesting presentation, and thank you for inviting me.
If you do say so yourself, right?
Yeah, it is, because for a project forwarding business to get a little bit of visibility where you meet customers, compatriots, people who are in the business, who are possibly going to potentially come into the business, it's a beautiful platform. More so for someone like me who started a company from a new phase after working for almost 25 years, it makes a world of difference because it's a new platform.
Now, one of the key phrase, and even in the title of your micro seminar, was TRP. Tell us what that stands for and why it's important.
It has a lot of similarity between the television rating points, which TRP stands for normally, but I felt that what we are talking about is a transformation in the business. It's not good enough to do the same thing which you did for years. You need to do it differently. You need to do a few things differently and few things different so that you stand out. And therefore that transformation is the first key word. The word reform basically comes from what you can change without turning the table upside down, and what you can do a little bit of change and tweaking in terms of the fabric of your thinking or the way you approach the business. A plus B put together, the thinking and reform put together, the transformation will happen. If reforms do bring about a change, performance will be a derivative, it will anyway happen.
All right, how do you recommend that a company who's been in business for, a number of years, how do you identify where what areas need reform?
I can speak for it as an individual because my present organization hasn't been that long, but I have been in the business for like 2.5 decades, and therefore I have had the privilege of working in different markets, winning businesses for a region from different parts of the world. So I've seen a cross-cultural ventilation of business from many areas and countries and markets. For me, the main issue is that at the end of the day, large companies many a times are very, very process driven to a point of getting a little bureaucratic. How about making a little small company within a large company? It's a process of thinking. How about making a small company become a larger company? These are effectively the areas where I felt that maybe there is a need for this topic and its relevance, which we can talk about and bring about certain hard talking realities on the table for people to think, question, and get on with some kind of a takeaway of what we need to do differently and larger aspects of the business.
All right, that sounds good. It's really a different way of looking at things, and you're talking about evaluating and just not taking everything for granted.
You know what, if you see, there are many companies who are over here. I don't want to bring anybody down, but at the end of the day, if you see that in a major presentation to a customer, pretty much everyone will look pretty similar. Only thing which changes is the color of their logo. And under those circumstances, if you don't stand out in a different region with something creative, something more, why would a client who's already bored to death listening to how large you are, how great you are, they have to think about you in a little different way so that they can remember you and say that, oh, this guy brings in a little difference to my business and possibly a value which I've never thought of.
Okay, and with the business, relatively new business that you're running now, what do you do? How do you differentiate yourself from others?
First thing I felt was, today many people, they sell prices in the market. I'm the cheapest, I'm the lowest. This is not what logistics is all about. You don't need to be the lowest to be the best. And I felt, what if I take the ownership of a customer's cost. What does he want really? He wants efficiency, he wants quality, and he wants the best or the lowest cost. What if I tell him that, listen, one worry, which is not your core competence, is now my problem. I take charge of it as if I'm one of you. I'm not your service provider anymore. I'm one of you. I just don't have a business card of yours, but everything else is the same. I'm you. Companies don't do that. Many companies today in the business, they say cost plus, which is
Sure.
in my opinion, it's an oxymoron, because at the end of the day, what is a cost plus? Why would you have any love loss to bring down the cost when your plus is actually dependent on the cost? And I said, if you could bring about a change where you take ownership of a proposition, you bring in the saving of the company, and you say, well, listen, last year you spent 100, this year I take ownership to make sure that I will give it to you for 90 without turning the whole world around, with the same resources. So effectively, I'm not biting away business from anybody. What I'm trying to do is to re-engineer and do a logistics audit and kind of re-engineer the process, whereby you buy cheaper, you possibly optimize your shipment lots, a lot of other things, which we don't focus on. There's so much focus on price, one biting the other, cannibalizing the other. You don't necessarily take into advantage what value you can actually bring. The word value is very, very vague in our business. So I'm trying my little way to bring about that element of value.
Okay, that sounds like good advice. Thank you.